old friends, I am Rob, the Dungeon Tutor, or Omnisci. And today, I'm doing RPDaDay on this, the 11th day of August, for the 11th question. And this one's a tricky one for me. Maybe it's because I'm overthinking this way too much. The question is, if you could live in a game setting, where would it be? Now, why do I think this is tricky? Because some people would just automatically go, ooh, I want to be in the Star Wars universe. Ooh, I'd love to be in the Forgotten Realms. Ooh, I'd like to be in the world of Top Secret. Okay, well, first of all, there's a lot of games based on modern life, so we'll move away from those. So I'm not worried about Top Secret. I'm not worried about D20 Modern or anything like that. The problem is I don't know who I would be then. If I'm me myself, I'm not sure the life I would have. Because, well, you know, let's tally up my assets, assuming that I am me in that setting. I'm kind of intelligent. I'm not very ambitious. My health has been okay, so would I do okay in the Forgotten Realms? If I'm not a player character, now that's the thing. The vast majority of people in the Forgotten Realms aren't player characters, and to be honest, life in the Forgotten Realms kind of sucks. Oh, don't get me wrong, you've got decent magic, you've got interesting things happening, but if you've read any of the books, you realize that that whole world is going to pot at one time or another, except that great heroes step forward and save people. So, you know, you have these world-saving heroes, hopefully, that step up and save everything, but it's kind of rough. Now, to be a hero in the Forgotten Realms, to be a player character, if I get to be, and I classified myself the way I'd want, I'd be a wizard or a sorcerer, that would be awesome. Because, quite honestly, I know if I ever play a character in, say, Dungeons & Dragons, I'm playing to the Dungeon Master's tune. I can't live that life, as much as I would love to. The campaign's always got somewhere to go, and the Game Master always wants to drive it, and the other players just can't wait to level up. I don't get a chance to live in that world and do the cool things that I'd love to do. I'd love to, for my day, you know, okay, it's rush and go to the dungeon or heal up or something. I have a lot of fun just in the shopping sessions where, okay, we need to load up. We just got treasure from this haul. Let's go around and figure out how we spend them. I feel guilty about dedicating an entire session to that, but I would love it. I would love it, love it, love it, love it. I would love to detail where we would go for lunch and what we would have. Few campaigns are that detailed, but I would love to be able to walk down along the dock of Waterdeep and just look out and spend an hour of the day just watching ships come in, watching interesting people from all these different races walking around, doing things. You know, if I played Skyrim, I'd probably spend a huge amount of time in it, but a lot of it not delving in old ruins and tombs and stuff, just walking around and with the extremely limited interaction you get, just kind of imagining being in that world, and maybe with that money buying a house and just, you know, having a place I can go home and I can eat and I can get out and I can talk to people and stuff. I know even most video games are pretty limited that way, but you think about the opportunities that you should have in a role-playing game, and they're largely dependent on the people around you. That's why I think I should get into one of those play-by-post games and just be an NPC. Be a person who just gets up in the morning, makes some breakfast, looks at the world around you and appreciates, that half-orc's probably got a story, or, oh my, we don't see Dragonborn that often here. Are you an adventurer, sir? You must have an interesting story. I've got some food here if you'd like to eat and talk about your last adventure. You know, stuff like that. Just be in that world. That's what I would love to do. But being a non-hero in that setting would kind of suck. Plus, you're in medieval life, so, you know, pestilence, Hard work, if you're not one of the lucky... I'd probably be a scribe or something. So the hard work would be the, 14-hour days of doing nothing but writing all day long and stuff. That would be pretty brutal. Some of us think we work hard today, and a lot of us don't work as hard as we think we do, comparatively to what was demanded out of people in those other settings. So if not the Forgotten Realms or the generic fantasy settings like Greyhawk, same problem with Greyhawk, honestly. Certainly Ravenloft, no, and no. Midnight, same thing, no. But looking through my games and looking through the different worlds, Numenera sounds kind of interesting to exist in the setting. In as much as there are monsters and dangers, the idea that there's wonders everywhere, and when you find something, you just look at it and you figure out how you're going to plug it into you, or drink it, or shoot it, because it's absolutely madcap that all the stuff that you find, you're constantly trying to figure out how to turn them into limited use, effectively like magical items. That you don't understand the technology, you just try to make them work in the way that they work for a time. And the world is kind of benevolent around that. It's around our world, if you found random things and tried using them and plugging them into your body, you're probably going to die or get, infected or something horrible. Star Wars, a little too much conflict in many of the settings, but I think it would be very cool. I'm a little worried about what some of the, again, if I'm just a moisture farmer on Tatooine, that would kind of suck. But the cool tech, even a moisture farmer is used to dealing with droids, which are pretty cool. Anti-gravity units, like land speeders and stuff, that's pretty awesome. Probably some blast weapons and things like that. So the universe is still present for people in that universe, and that might be kind of cool. Again, I don't think I personally have any great skills myself that would make me, and it would have to be one of those random things. Am I a noble? Because the standard of what you can experience in the Star Wars universe, I'm sure, goes way up if you're wealthy or you're a hero with lots of resources to you. So it might be pretty cool. The Star Wars universe would be pretty neat. The Star Trek universe would probably be the best, quite honestly, because it's science fantasy. You want it, beep, you've got it. I know most of the Star Wars game or Star Trek games usually assume you're in Starfleet. I don't know how much the new Star Trek Adventures really, lets you diverge from that. And actually, I've always been kind of interested more in what the civilian life in Star Trek would be like. Because presumably, as Starfleet, the technology that you have there is top of the line. So, transporters, are they very common? I'm not sure. I've never read enough lore about it to see if, do you have a transporter in every home? And you go to the store and just... Even considering the technology we have today with doorstop delivery, the only thing that's faster, or I shouldn't say faster, obviously that process can be sped up, but the only thing that would be to top that would be the matter transfiguration to just instantly get what you want and be exactly the way you want it. You had the absolutely most perfect turkey one time, boom, you can instantly replicate that and have it just as good the next time. But it's also got assumptions on the society, that people are driven by the society to excel, otherwise they would stagnate and wither and die. My personal theory is that if we ever get a holodeck, that's the end of humanity. We will not proceed any further. People will just want to go there and burn their pleasure centers until we're just a drooling mess. They won't want to meet with other people because there's too much chance that a social encounter might go wrong. So there you go. You can form the family you want and just live in your... Yeah. Like I said, the moment they do that, humanity is done. But I think the Star Trek universe pushes people so that If there are holodecks, for instance, you're limited in how much you can use it. The state or whoever governs such things prevents people from just living a life entirely in the holodeck, unless maybe you're on the Pioneer Frontier worlds or something where you can escape the, some sort of limitations on that. Yeah, I think the Star Trek universe would be the one I'd probably like to live in the most, just again because it offers the best life, honestly. All information in the Federation that's not off limits to civilians. Like, you could actually go back in time if you do. No, they wouldn't advertise something like that. But out of all the games I've got, and I've got some pretty good ones. Shadowrun's just dark. Magic would be cool. Magic blended in society and technology moved up a little bit. Certainly a lot of quality of life changes would be better potentially, but the odds are I'd be locked in working, as a wage slave at some corp. With unfulfilling work, well, unless I got that lucky perk that I was actually blessed with magic, and then it would be cool. Don't think I'd like to play those odds though. This is probably one of the grimmer interpretations of this question though, but I'm looking through. Certainly not paranoia. No. Faith, likewise, kind of a neat scenario. Would probably, it's not quite up to the level of Star Trek, though. But still sci-fi, and sci-fi is pretty cool. Like Traveler. Sci-fi is pretty cool. Maybe it's just because I'm from where I am, a small town. The idea of going out into space scares the daylights out of me with all that space. And what happens if your ship fails? You're just dead. That kind of sucks. I don't know. Certainly not Rift. Rift is an apocalyptic world, so I'd prefer not. Yeah, I think I'd probably say Star Trek. The future tech looks amazing. A lot of problems that we have today would be just gone. No medical problems. It's just everything's fixed. Someone would have to assume, well, maybe, I don't know, if they have any kind of rejuvenant treatments and stuff, so that, as I get closer to 50, it feels like it's a barrier, a wall that I can't slow down and I'm going to hit. But, what would 50 years old mean if you were in, Star Trek? All your ailments are taken care of, so 50 is just the next 20, theoretically. So, yeah, that would be my answer. It's kind of a cheesy answer, but quite honestly, I don't make my worlds to be fluffy worlds. They're full of adventure, and for the heroes, that's great. For the common people, not so much. You have to rely that these people are going to be sent out by the gods, by fate, to always be there to save the day. So, at least with Star Trek, the average person lives a pretty darn good life and is productive for whatever they do. But it's rewarding what they do, and it's never too hard because the technology, it could give you, like even today, if I was unlocked from the shackles of having to work 40 hours at my job, I think of all the things I could create. Yeah, I've got like 4 or 5 projects I'd love just to throw time at in the scenario I'm in. I've got, just for starters, from GUI Cube, I have this deck of Perilous Fortuity here. I would love to make a role-playing game that uses this as the mechanics. It's just going to take a little while for me to do it because too many distractions. It's going to have to wait until after August, certainly, before I, for getting through with the RPDaDay, so I can take that time and put it to something like that, but... So that's my answer. If I could live anywhere, it would be in the Star Trek universe, where most of the problems that we have are already pre-solved, and we could still live exciting, interesting lives, exposed to the cultures of varieties of civilizations, and with all the knowledge that you could potentially get at your finger. Just, utopia. It's utopia, and if you've not lived in utopia, you've lived with scarcity and want and things like that. Utopia is a beautiful dream that Roddenberry put to TV and then to cinema, and it's captured the imagination. So, yep, that's probably the most famous utopic society that I can think of. And, yeah, if I had my choice with my predilections, that would be ideal. Now, if I could be a hero, yeah, Forgotten Realms would be awesome. It really would. Alongside of other heroes that you could meet and explore and you know, get mutual respect with. Hey, you know, hey, Drist, you're pretty cool. Thank you. I think you are pretty cool, too. Come, Guinevere. You know, stuff like that. Anyhow, that's my answer to this question. A little long-winded, and I apologize, but I think it's a question that if you really think about it, if you've played in a variety of games and have access to myriad number of worlds, that's an interesting question. It really is. So, anyhow, thank you. I'm Rob, the Dungeon Tutor, or Omnisci. If you enjoyed this, you think it's something you'd like to do, feel free. RPDaDay is the website. You can grab the questions and make questions, make posts, make art, whatever. Make polite conversation. So, yeah, hopefully it inspires you or entertained you or made you think. Until next time, my friends, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time, which is hopefully tomorrow. Until then, thanks and farewell.